This is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics. Listen, douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics.
Good evening and welcome to douglAR Politics. We start off with a little sport. Archie pop that image, boy. Haaland is one big player. Archie scrambling for his clipboard because it. Archie, I'm laughing and catch him off guard. Good evening, Haaland. I must say, well, Manchester City died on my side. It's Manchester United, but Liverpool, Stefan Rees, Nicky Board, all your side, Roger Hadid. What is this? All you can't be the man fair and square. Die where all you go kick the man because the man scoring. The man scoring with, oh God, ow. I play football all my life, I never see that. What exactly he trying to kick there? How he trying to get that ball from there? I don't understand that play. I never see it. Haaland is about 6'5", 235 pounds of muscle. He's shielding a ball in front. Where exactly Mr. Liverpool trying to get? I never see nothing so. But we move from that Dylan Carter boy. Goal after goal after goal, record after record after record, brilliant performance after brilliant performance, going for 100,000 US, 6 goals straight. When I tell you, they can't touch him. It's only run the video now, man. Dylan Carter, man. 50 freestyle, one of them in Canada. I think this was his 4th gold medal. Then he won the fly and the back. He won the back from lane 2. Even here he came out of the underwater a little bit deep, but he overtake them and coming down driving in a 2091. Dylan Carter, well done, going into the final leg, leading red, white and black there. And obviously when the country is in darkness and nothing is working and we feel like we are depressed and hopeless, you could always look at our national heroes, those who fight and put their blood, sweat and tears for Trinidad and Tobago without reward, without money, without anything, just fighting for us. Dylan Carter gives us something to be proud. And Kamla Prasad says, well, she took note too because Kamla loves sport. Kamla is sport. Kamla put the treasury where sport is. Run it.
Before I move on, I want to say congratulations to Dylan Carter, flying the red, white and black, making TNT proud. Dylan in the swimming World Cup, he didn't win 1 medal, you know. He didn't win 2 gold medals. I am told by now he's counting his 6 gold medals Dylan has won. Well, thank you, Dylan.
And just to make note, because you all like to say, PNM, UNC, same thing. Well, Kamla Prasad Bisasa had a political meeting, a political platform, and she mentioned Dylan Carter, she praised him, and she wants our young people to move and try to be the next Dylan with stick-to-itiveness, discipline, hard work, passion, never giving up, brilliance, top of the world, taking on the whole world and beating them. Well, Keith Rowley had a political platform too, the day after Kamla, so he had 24 more hours to soak in the brilliant achievements of Dylan Carter. On his platform, did he say anything? I don't know, I don't listen to him, you all tell me now. But one thing I could tell you, people are protesting sport across the country in every nook and cranny, whether it's down in Labre, Palo Seco, whether it's Guacara Park, whether it's down Clifton Hill, wherever it is, in all the Petrotrin sporting grounds, all the facilities in stadium, in Jean Pierre, all the recreation grounds across Trinidad and Tobago, the tracks down in Dwight York Stadium, money that was left there since 2014, never utilized. They just put some paint and power wash. Nothing going on. Protests over poor state of Manny Ramjohn Stadium. Express, page 17, Monday, 31st October. 2 sports enthusiasts held a placard protest outside the Manny Ramjohn Stadium in Marabella as they lamented the condition of the venue and access to the facility. Former resident of the area, Adrian Acosta, and councillor for Marabella East, Kern Ramdin, held the protest by the gates of the facility last week. We are heartbroken at the condition of the stadium. We are seeing the government building all sorts of new buildings, new structures. Well, I will put in like Balize House. How they building it? You all don't want to investigate? Mark Bassant, you don't want to know how they get in all that $120 million in steel and concrete? How come so many different contractors involved? Actually, real good, and I wasn't even planning to talk that. Pouring concrete, Kusal's pouring concrete, Junior Sammy coming in, earth movers shaking, or Venezuelans building. Where PNM getting all that money, all that materials? Rohan Sinan and the only honest Indian said it's donations. Really? Donations for what? From what? For whom? By whom? Balize House is a charity? Oh my goodness. Donations, you say? We are heartbroken at the condition of the stadium. We are seeing the government building all kind of structures and leaving the ones that they have to rotten down in a dilapidated condition, Acosta said. He also said the car park at the stadium is dangerous to users. We understand that there are certain people that are using it, the stadium, but it's not readily available for the residents to use at this point in time. Kamla Prasad Bisesa opened every single stadium, everything, the aquatic center, cycling velodrome, Atto Bolden, all the stadia for the people to use the gym, to use it for healthy lifestyle, for families to go and exercise. PNM come in and lock it down and lock it away from you. Down in Bagatelle, they spend 120 million with Rowley friend, SRI, we play golf with, and lock it down from the people. You have to get special permission and pay and things to have events there. This is the PNM way. Under Kamla, even the secondary schools football did not have to pay a cent. Now to use the stadium, secondary school football had to pay $5,000 and $7,000 and all, and they don't even get to use lights. But they continued. Acosta called for access to all. As he said, the facility used to be available for exercising and for children to play sports. Acosta knows, because under Kamla and the UNC, that is how it was. So stop the nonsense about PNM and UNC the same. Chalk and cheese. Acosta called for access to all, as he said the facility used to be available for exercising and for children to play sports. He described sport as a crime-fighting tool and an avenue for youths to uplift themselves. Acosta said he and Ramdin wrote to Sport Minister Shampa Kujo about 2 months ago asking for a meeting to discuss the rental of Manny Ramjohn Stadium and Atto Bolden Stadium in Couva, but got no response. Well, gentlemen, because you're not sacrificing. You all want everything for nothing. And you all don't have a Louis Vuitton bag. You understand? You all don't have tablets to make you lighter. You all don't have things to try to make your hips go in and your waist go in and your hips come out. You don't have those things. So you're not going to get a meeting. You want to promote sport and healthy lifestyles for the children and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. How dare you want such a thing? We don't have time for that. We have weave to buy. We have $59,000 in roaming bill to pay. But don't get tired. You care about children, gentlemen? No, not here about the PNM. Right? And then again, Archie, there should be an image of another article. Sport again, under pressure. Their editor, sport and social activities can address enterprise crime spike. Wait, sport, crime, opportunities, talent identification, food, literacy education, numeracy education, guidance counselors, social workers. Put it back up, Archie. I'm hearing something, live sport. Oh, live sport? What we are seeing happening did not erupt overnight. This is a result of neglect of the community and the youth by those tasked with the authority to assist, like their local representatives, MP and the mayor. One must understand that involvement in sports and social activities, I like how the person put that, but they put the PNM, the government, the cabinet, the ministers, for the sport company. I like how you forget all of that. But let me see what you're making sense. But you're just not putting the blame where the blame is squarely placed. Right? That's what I love about this country. Once P&M there, all you can't talk the truth. You want to talk piece of truth, but you don't want to talk the whole truth. One must understand that involvement in sports and social activities reduces some of the negative outcomes associated with living in marginalized or undeserved. Where you was when there was attacking live sport and balling corruption and shut down the program. When all other programs with audits and whatever, if there anything that has to be done, fix it. Change the management systems, fire people, deal with it, but don't crash a whole program if you find it. Well, look, if they say the food card done, I can't say food card corruption. The next one say hamper corruption. The next one say works and transport division, licensing office corruption, customs corruption. All you shut down all that. But all you shut down live sport because they say it's corruption. Why? Because poor people not to get nothing. And young black boys is to shoot each other dead. And that's why we heading at 600 murders for the year. And all you say is a black government. A black government who doesn't care that black boys are killing each other day in, day out for the most ridiculous reasons known to man. This country has lost it. We are in an evil place and we will deal with that just now. Some of the most evil things I ever see. Let me hear this.
Yeah. I love Anil Roberts.
So you're trying to intimidate him.
So you're trying to intimidate you like Anil Roberts. So you try to intimidate the police, so man. He tried to intimidate him, you know. I got big obia man. Oh God, Anil Roberts sometimes it make me feel like I hit him a lash, you know. But I say, oh God, I was my boy long time in Minister of Sports. And I go there getting everything. Hey, top things I do not a bag wagon. And plenty people doesn't understand that. I'm not a bag wagon. You see that Minister of Sports? He get children in the sport ministry of sports. We was paying $15,000 a month for me. Educated children come down and work in that ministry. I telling you, Anil Roberts. Make sure and let me know by the launch street. Even if every ground wasn't good, he give me ball, he give me trophy, give me everything go on. Let them try to play every day. I talking that on the big air. So I can't join the people that cost you. When you was there sitting down, you look out for me. I cannot cost you. You and them have all the bacchanal. All they deal with that. I not coming to say Anil Roberts this and I see by the launch street and they had the thing with the sports thing, and them trying and them do the work, and they get the money. Why come to complain? It's a children was going to school, they doing the thing. Why come to complain? Let them go and bang wagon and jump. I am not. When he was sitting down there as the Minister of Sports.
Yes, that's what we have. Put back up the article. Don't disturb the man. Put back up the article there, please. Image article. Boxer Pots come out here, come to disturb the show. Archies forget Boxer Pots now. Put up the article, please, the Enterprise article. Yes, sport needed in enterprise. One must understand that involvement in sport, social activities reduces some of the negative outcomes associated with living in marginalized and undeserved communities. More social interaction teaches individuals how to work with others, recognize others' strengths, and work as a team. This is vital for communities such as enterprise. And then we see, moving along, at least the children still showing potential that the country, regardless of the evil, the running of the country by the P&M, the nonsense that is going on, that there are still good children in this country. Good deed. 2 teens find 5,000 and return it to the owner. If you found over 5,000 in cash, what would you do? Would you return it? Well, a 16-year-old pupil of Signal Hill Secondary School, Antonio Hackett, and 14-year-old Jevon Horford of Bishop's High School are being hailed as heroes after finding the money in a purse on the roadway along the Pigeon Point Heritage Park last Saturday and returning it to the rightful owner. The owner of the purse from Cocory, Trinidad was vacationing in Tobago when the purse was lost. And these fellas found it. Well done, fellas. Brilliant. Amazing. That's what we're talking about. La Saiva residents want immediate intervention to fix landslip. All you know where La Saiva is? La Saiva is in the constituency of Colm, Duns, Dwen, Dote, Short, Mamapool, Imbot. The acting prime minister of this country, the minister of finance, the minister who tells you that you can't have your fuel in your car, he have to take the subsidy, he have to fuel and funnel recusals across the board, but he can't fix landslip and flooding in his constituency, but telling me that next time he will campaign because he guaranteed 10,382 votes because the people in Diego Martin Northeast is PNM. No matter if PNM pee on them, no matter if PNM leave them in tutu water for 7 months, fix it for 5 months and it busts back open in 3 places, whatever the PNM do, all they still vote PNM and have a short midget Dwen like that, talking and treating all you badly. La Saiva residents of La Saiva Maraval are calling for immediate intervention. Good luck. Vote PNM. Flood frustration, Trinidad and Tobago, right? Just from drizzle, you know. No hurricane, swamped Central. Where was Rowley? In Tobago? Where he was? Celebrating the birthday? Sharon was there in one Woodbrook place. I ain't see Sharon partying in the birthday. But how you could celebrate your 73rd birthday and your wife and day? But she in a function with Earth and Ali, but she in a function dancing. I thought a little romancing. Let me see the video with the romancing now. Let me see the Facebook post now. I see you put up Rowley. Oh my love Sharon, happy birthday about last month, so when it was. I look for the Facebook post from Sharon, but oh my love Rowley, I love you so much. You make children all over the place without prophylactics. I still love you. Everybody in the cabinet that's female, to get a walk you have to pass through them. Oh Rowley, happy 73rd birthday. Wait, you big bald head dunce clown. Valsain South, El Carmen residents trapped by rising water. Caroni village floods. Where your prime minister? Floods keep woodland children away from school. Residents call for new pump to drain overflow. This from drizzle, you know. Not hurricane, not storm, not tropical depression. Drizzle. Video. Run the video about Palmy Park. Watch. Hey, tight pants.
Welcome
endurance exercise here. Al-Rawi, Al-Rabwi, your new name is Al-Rabwi. Watch that, run the audio.
Over. Palmer's Park. Straight onto the main driveway. Look at the other side. Palmer's Park people. Where is all this water running? Straight down where everybody comes to exercise and have a good time and feel that they are bonding with nature. How it's smelling, ma'am? I wouldn't take your picture. How it's smelling?
Stink.
You think this is right?
No, this is
This
not
is
right.
a park where everybody comes to.
I come to drink my coffee, but it's smelling too stink.
Right. So this water is running straight down. Straight down in the vicinity of where the children's play park is. And crossing by that tree right there. Tell me something, forestry is in charge of the park. Have they not seen this? Are they going to allow this nastiness to continue?
The PNM don't see nothing nasty with all you, because all you must vote for them. Call election. PNM, all you get a counselor, boy. Big thing. I'm going to deal with that just Government gets US $5.84 million for October flood damage. Government has received a total of US $5.84 million, 39.42 million TT from the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Assurance Facility following the heavy rainfall that occurred in TNT. How much will they get from that? Y'all who got damaged. This guy whose car is all in the flood, damaged and shattered and totaled and written off. You get anything for that? How much did PNM give all year? Out of the $40 million for the one flood. Anything? Or check column for it. Check the cabinet. Check the recusals. Check small pin. Check Rowley. Check Al-Rawi rent. And only vote. I never see a population who vote for people to rob them. As we say that, I'll rob we. Proud of ministry's response to bad weather. I didn't just go through a whole list of woes and people get no help across the whole country. They had hot sun in Madras and them areas for 2 days, and the river still rising because the water had nowhere to go. They may spend no money on desilting the river mouth. They may spend no money on clearing drain. They may spend no money on box drain. They may spend no money on cleaning drain. They may spend no money on going underneath and digging out drain. They may do nothing. So hot sun and people bracing for flood in Trinidad and Tobago. And Al-Rawi, aka Al-Rabui, say, and I quote, don't say the douglAR make this up, Call you to say I go make up thing on the PNM. Minister of Rural Development, Minister Puya and Latrin from Attorney General, local government Faris Al-Rawi says, this country had never seen this type of coordination from the ministry when it comes to disaster preparedness and recovery efforts until now. I am sure you will agree that you've never seen this type of coordination on a national level, and more particularly from this ministry, taken from position in this has been a critical issue that we take. No man, listen to me. The man say that with confidence and gusto, He say that like he now bench press 220 pound a tight vest, went by 2 girls and say, hi guys, how are you guys? Y'all want to go to Blanche Shearers, blanch the clothes, Blanche Shearers, or you want to take some pepper? This fool, the best ever. Not one person get help. Everybody suffer. A little rain, total shutdown in the country. Children go to school. Precious hot sunshine and people flooding out. People can't wash away. People nearly drowned. Falling in hole. Disease all over the place. People lost everything. And he said that's the greatest coordination in the history of the country. And all they print that news there. All they didn't tell him, but where he went, that he mistaken he blue tablet from St. Anne's. Or they didn't ask him that. Because clearly he had to be a madman. He not only mad to negotiate an indemnity with a criminal and in a criminal investigation to be a criminal witness. He not only mad to not transfer a Porsche. He not only mad to sit down in a cabinet and recuse himself 47 times in 3 years. He not only mad to dance around with 7 men in a room during COVID-19 dribbling on one another. He not mad to take video and song like he now come out of sugar factory. He not mad to put on them tight pants that cut in his circulation to go in the parliament and lie down the place. But the man mad to tell all you that is the best coordination. When Kamala Prasad was swearing as Prime Minister, the next day had rain, the heaviest rainfall for a while, or the whole east-west corridor down to Dago Martin flood out. She put on she boots and she galosses, went out there, saw people, helped people, bring mattress and so on. She was not happy with the system that was in place. She told the Minister of National Security, Jack Warner, she took the National Security at that time was Sandy. She tell Chandra Sharma, Minister of Local Government, Minister of Works and Transport, Minister of Public Utilities, Minister of Social, Minister of the People, Glenn Ramadan Singh. She called all of them together. She said, listen, this madness, ODPM, coordinate, bam, every corporation must have some warehouses of mop, with mattress, with Clorox, with water, with food, canned food and so on. So anytime thing happening, interact, get out and help. This lying fool, this imbecile who waited, where my bucket? But Archie, bring my bucket. This one who waiting to practice to go in Golden Grove to squat on a bucket, and you like to squat in gym, they go squat here in the bucket in Golden Grove. You will squat nicely and fit in. This one come to tell all you with a straight face that was the best coordination ever. When people drowning, bring the bucket, man. When people drowning, this is why, my brother, you will move from that fancy toilet in your rent-out building that the government paying 23.6 million For every 3 years, you reach up to 46 million and they spend 38 million to outfit your building with nice toilet. This is your future toilet. And you have to share this with 12 men in a cell. So you practice your big dotish clown. Poverty is everywhere in Trinidad and Tobago. Look at the Sunshine. Only the Sunshine newspaper print this. I say, but what is this? I'm reading through the Sunshine in rain. And I read this thing. Poverty is everywhere. I say, but what is this? Had to be a fabrication. Jack Warner and them make up this thing. The central bank has now stated that Sunshine Today has been Sunshine Today has been reporting for months. That the poor are getting poorer and hardship is everywhere in Trinidad and Tobago. The banks, the central bank, as I say central bank, Alvin Hilaire, you practice here too. Alvin Hilaire, central bank governor, who was put up, yes, Alvin, that born too clean, Archie. Why you put that clean doubles bucket there? No, this is the bucket for them. Right? Alvin Hilaire, you taking basket from Colmimbat and them to breach section 44E of the Constitution. What you're still doing in CL Financial and CLICO since 2018 is supposed to go. Alvin Hilaire, you will go after Al Rawi. So all your share toilet paper too, eh? Okay? Alvin Hilaire, this is the central bank. Leave it there. Central bank report showing poor getting poorer. Poverty escalating in Trinidad and Tobago. When the Miss Trinidad and Tobago say, but she's helping poor children across Trinidad and Tobago doing this, all your buffshy, all your coshy, how she could say it had children sleeping on cardboard and on wood floor and thing, and it have thousands. Let me hear what central bank say. Since all you didn't want to hear the lady talk, right? Hear this. The bank's brand new report on the government's social welfare system said that 80.3% of the population earns 5,000 or less. 80% of citizens in Trinidad and Tobago earn 5,000 or less. But the Dwayne and the PNM just went in the Parliament and the Senate and tell all you about per capita income being up at 19,000 US. 19,000 US? That's nearly $100,000 per month. Think about the percentage of people who making that money. 1%. And them spread that, divide by 1.4 and give you a per capita figure when 80.3% of all you living on 5,000 or less per month. Now let's calculate $5,000. Family of 4. Rent, 2,000. Right? For 2 bedroom. A bath, 1.5 bath, right? Cheap, no fancy area, 2,000. You have 3,000 left to feed 4 people. Go in the grocery, with that 3,000, you could feed 4 people, eating only 1.5 meals a day. They could last about 18 days. They pay electricity. They pay transport to send the children to school. They buy no books. They ain't get medicine. They ain't get Panadol. They ain't pay TNTech. They ain't pay, well, they can't watch TV. They ain't pay nothing else yet. And the money done. But all you say great is the flipping PNM. So why this not in the Guardian? Why this report not in the Express? Why this report not in the Newsday? Why they don't talk about this on TV6? Why is only in the Sunshine? It continues, you know, this is a central bank report. 1/5 of all households live under the for y'all who know what is 1/5. 1/5 is 20%. 20%. 20% of 1.4 million people is approximately 300,000 people living below the poverty line. Y'all want to apologize to the Miss World, Trinidad and Tobago again? This is Central Bank. And Central Bank is not fair and impartial. This is Central Bank. PNM, Rowley Neighbor, Inez Gate, Gay Walk, when Jawala get fired wrongfully by Imbot and all you had to pay Jawala 7.5, Imbot appeal, so that go up to 9.5, that go up plus legal fees. This man who is not an independent man, this man who espouses inward fiscal policy, this man who going and join some of them PNM to poo-poo in this bucket down in up there in the east, this man report says that poverty is rampaging in Trinidad and Tobago. You all can read it only in the sunshine. Now, PNM come to vote apart because Ty Jersey Al-Rawi can't win no seat because he has done nothing for the people of San Fernando West. They come in now to put on house in a school district. But the PNM is so corrupt that we have processes, we have policies, we have laws, we have conventions, we have rules. Tongue and country planning say, and you could put up the images randomly. The Ministry of Education say, the Permanent Secretary say, no, we need that. The Housing Development Corporation, Noel Garcia, the man who come out Massey stores with one big bag and I see Rowley name on it. One huge bag. And I see it in Alice Glen, I see Rowley name on the big bag coming out of the grocery. Me I know what that was for. But Noel Garcia asking and saying he want land to build house. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education saying, no, fire burn you. We need that for we children. We need that for we play park. We need that, we need that. The tongue and country planning also. Well, don't put she yet. Don't put bundles yet because bundles roll out from under Rowley and then write that letter. So the Ministry of Planning and Development says, no, that don't fit we plan at 3rd Street, San Fernando. Right? Please be advised that the matter has been investigated. Right? The Tongue and Country Planning Division does not recommend the use of this site. But here comes the Minister of Education. The woman who gave work because she could put on work. Yes, here she. Ministry of Education. Who get the work? Foster, you take Rowley work? Okay, look at she. Noel Garcia, a non-objection to the use. How she come to non-objection? You have a permanent secretary who gets advice from those technocrats and those public servants who are experts in planning, in usage, in expansion and so on. The permanent secretary said no. But the Minister of Education, who's the worst Minister of Education in history, write a letter to the PNM thing, HDC, Mr. Noel Garcia Rowley, Las Alturas man, Greenvale man, Rowley Superman, Rowley man who I see in the grocery with a big bag for Rowley. I don't know why Rowley name was on the grocery because Rowley don't eat meat food from Massey, you know. Rowley does only eat shrimps and scotch and share Doritos and tortilla chips with man, wife, and parlor on camera. And he going and buy more camera so we could see more of who wife is sharing chips with. All she hand down in the man chips. I never know woman that's put hand down in chips. So just so it's only your woman supposed to put your hand. She hand in your chips. Is chips just sharing? Anyway, Rowley just go by Boudit, so them just share chips right through. I hear they had a meeting, the PNM meeting in Boudit neighbor signature hall. Rowley, you went and eat by Boudit after. You went and rub your leg. You all you know who's Boudit? The older Copacabana. That Rowley brethren. Al-Rawi brethren too. Leng brethren. Randall Mitchell Puss in Boots. How you going? That your brethren too? Anyway, let me get back focus. But Gadsby only say yes. And the PNM put up the pink sheet now. The cabinet now. Ignoring all the experts, ignoring all the rules, ignoring all the planning, ignoring all the process. Check Rowley cabinet. Transfer parcel of land. Cabinet minute. A minute comes after that note. A cabinet note comes and you come to the cabinet, you discuss it and so on. If the cabinet approves it, the next week they bring at the beginning of the meeting a letter folder with a set of pink paper in it to tell you what you approved last week, to make sure if you want to approve it that you come the week after and you confirm it. Do you know that Rowley and the PNM approve and confirm this minute on the same meeting? They may even wanted to wait 7 days to come back and confirm. Them confirm the same day. Cabinet agreed to the transfer of parcel land, 3rd Street, San Fernando. This is the most corrupt thing in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. This is don't care. This is illegal. This is wrong. And this is the cabinet that you vote for. What do you want me to say? Archie boy? So don't build on third side, says Munilal, And he brought out all that information. And thank you to the pundit who brought it out, that eloquent, brilliant individual. And the people of San Fernando not taking that. I hear the petition reached 7,000 or 8,000. All you say PNM and UNC same thing, ain't? Let me show you that they're not. Hey! Look, Boudit, man. Boudit, how Copacabana going? What's that, a hotel where you get 5-star meals? Where you could go on in a water park, a water slide. What is Copacabana, Boudit? But Archie, where Rowley, why you put the mystery man there? And you know the one with Rowley sitting down rubbing Boudit leg? They have to show Rowley's friends, man. Rowley like me with the whole house king. Rowley come in a press conference, I don't go in whole house. I don't drink and get drunk. Why you didn't come out and say I don't use my teacher position to get pum-pum from girl of school age? Why you didn't come out and say that? You only mind in one family, that's true. Because you're a sicko. You make children all over the place and you don't even mind them. You're big clown. Hey, Rowley, are you waiting for pre-action protocol letter? Where mine? You want a little conch slanting. Where my own? I say, Rowley, in 1969-70, were you a teacher in Tobago? Rowley, was there a young girl who of school age who you talk to, you sweet talk? You use your position to get pum-pum from this little girl, and you went in without a prophylactic and impregnated her. Is that true, Rowley? Rowley, what would you say to a teacher today as you are the Prime Minister and you're bringing sexual harassment law to the Parliament? Rowley, what would you say to a teacher who has sex with a girl of school age right now, Rowley? Would you tell him he's naughty, he's wrong, he's a criminal, he's nasty, he's wicked, he's sick? What about if it was your daughter, Rowley? See how things getting serious now? What about if it was your daughter, Rowley? Your grandchild, Rowley? And a teacher uses position to get sex from them? What would you do, you disgusting, nasty clown? Can't hear you. Anil's asking you, you fool. Look who you're hugging up. Human trafficking. Let's fight it. Don't abuse women. Bring sexual harassment law. Women dying all over. No pepper spray. But look. And they have meeting 2 doors down from this. Rowley, did you go and share a meal here again? What else you share? How you get COVID the second time? We know the third one was COVID. That's the horn. That one wasn't real, right? That one you was hiding because you find out about the special branch in One Woodbrook Place. But the second time you get COVID, how you get it? It had anything to do with this relationship here in Tobago? It had anything to do with que pasa, papi? Todo bien, coño. Esa vaina no está bien. Move that clong, them 2 clong now. UNC and PNM is the same, ain't? Okay. Survivor of an accident says cable barriers could have saved the lady's life, the WPC. Accident survivor Yusuf Hussein says WPC Susan Duncan Thomas 57 could have survived Wednesday night's accident if there were cable barriers on that stretch of the Solomon Hochoy Highway. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, Jack Warner, Surudratan Rambachan put highway barriers, 3 cables strong, tightening to prevent these things way back in 2011, 2012 coming forward. And as an accident happened and people's lives were saved, they send back people to maintain, tighten back, put back, replace, crank back. Since the PNM comes 7 years, if you get 3 feet of barriers in that whole highway, you're lucky. UNC and PNM are the same? Really? I think you all should pay attention a little bit more. Attorney General lose our next case. Well, this is Faris and Limo, the 2 clowns, but they lost. Here what they lost. They lost a case against a former Equal Opportunity Chief Executive Officer. Express, page 17, Tuesday, 1st November. The Office of the Attorney General acted unfairly and was in breach of the rules of natural justice when it chose not to renew the contract of the former chief executive of the Equal Opportunity Commission without allowing her the opportunity to be heard. Hearing the lawsuit was Justice Joan Charles, who ruled on Friday afternoon that Maharaj Ramdeen's constitutional rights were infringed by the actions of the AG's office. A written request was then sent to the Office of the Attorney General for approval, but it was denied. And these are the people who are telling you, come on, we're going to go in your taxes, we're going to create a revenue authority that Colm Imbert and the cabinet is going to appoint the board. The PNM board is going to appoint the Director General. The Director General is going to appoint other people to go in your taxes, and it's going to be fair. Yes, they're going to treat everybody fair. These people who went and negotiated an indemnity with a legal hoe, a legal prostitute, a man who will change his mind for whoever have the bigger wad of cash. The PNM went and sit down with the attorneys, pay his legal fees, negotiate with him for him to lie on to UNC. And these are the people going to set up your revenue authority and go in your taxes, penalize you, give you interest, penalties, take your property. You vote for that? You vote for this fool who went away, get a visa, went into the USA, say, I'm here, AG of Trinidad and Tobago, red, white, and black, man. Yeah, I'm representing those people. Those people of Hazy Crawford, Brian Lara, you know, all those greats. The man, the Kitchener, Lord Kitchener. I represent them, man. And I went into a court of law, and I signed lies on an affidavit, man, and embarrassed the whole country. But all right, let me go. I'm going back home. I'll come back later when you want to charge me. Move the fool. Cummins, from one PNM to the next. Foster Cummins, Venture Credit Union. Rowley put you in charge of credit union. Money gone from MTS for a contract in your wife company. End up in Venture Credit Union account and then into your account. Where the investigation? Police. Hey, Foster, boy. Foster, we have a new man to the bucket list, boy. Foster, I want to see, when you're finishing this, Foster, I want you to pretend you're going and find God. All of a sudden, people accuse you of all kind of things. Allegations about land going here, HDC here, gangster here, money fall day, Venture Credit Union day, and you going to say, hey, yes, man, God is good. We know God is good all the time. What we know is that you rotten to the core, you big clown. Practicing the bucket too. Yes, this bucket going wrong. I'm going to drop this bucket by Balize house. Okay? Because everything else dropping there. All kind of material dropping there. 120 million dropping there. And PNM just moving on. All you can't get no money. You can't get no laptop. You can't get no medicine. You can't get road to drive on. But Balize house going up. Yes, man. Foster, man. Yes, man. The more they tell you, ask you where the money is, you dance. You dance in church, man. Mama guide people, you feel that going to help you? You bringing God into your business? We ask you about God. We ask you about how the money reached by you. How the 1.8 million reached by you. How the 4.4 reached by you. How MTS money from a contract of Rona Rowley girl reached by you. We ask if you love the Lord. The Lord will love you. The Lord will forgive you as you sit down in this. The Lord will forgive you because the Lord is a loving Lord. We know that. We ask you that. We ask you about the people, their money. But Foster now, Gianti come out. You want to play, you going to use the court. Court is for loyal, legal, legitimate, factual thing. Will you feel you could just mama guy like the media and you go in court? The court fling you out. You have to drop everything. Cummins withdraws appeal. Youth Development Minister Foster Cummins has withdrawn his appeal against the decision of the High Court judge to refusal to grant him an injunction against opposition Senator Jayanti Lakshmidhyal. With the withdrawal of the procedural appeal, Cummins is now required to pay Lakshmidhyal's legal costs at both the appeal and High Court. Cummins took Lakshmidhyal to court after she made certain revelations at a UNC Monday night forum meeting in May, in which she spoke of a special branch report into allegations of questionable conduct by the minister. His attorneys, led by Farai Hove Masaisai, I hope I'm saying it correct, that is a black name, boy. Masasai. Yes, man, Masaisai. And Foster and Masaisai, you know, I don't care about the PNM internal election because Tutu from Tutu against Tutu leave Tutu and all in the bucket. But are watching one thing. Because it looks, don't put Janty, they are going to PNM already. Too late, move Janty. I'm going to PNM internal. So Masai, Africa, stay up my black brother, strong. And Foster, black man, you have plenty thing to answer. Them going up against the Indian from Barakpur. I want to see PNM always a black man party, don't vote for them Indian. Don't vote for Kamala because she's Indian. Never mind she building hospital. Never mind she fix road. Never mind it don't flood unless it's real storm and hurricane. Never mind she giving children and building school. Never mind Fazal Karim giving gate 726 million across the board and building NESC and MIC centers and creating opportunities for young people so they will not be in crime. Never mind Kamala and them Indian do all of that. The PNM say, like the Rasta Yankee, don't vote for that Indian lady because all the jobs has been done before. Indian. Okay. Well, PNM, black man plus Masai, 2 black man versus a half Indian from Barakpur and the other half not black. It's Chinese. Let me see all your black people in the PNM. Who winning? That's the only race I watching. And when the Indian from Barakpur win, I don't want to hear no more PNM talking no black man thing. Vote for me because I black and I black and I black. All of we is Trinidad and Tobago. All of we bleeding the same. The only thing black is my douglAR politics jersey. You understand? Move this clung before you're just getting a rash. Investment opportunity, Trin City Mall. Put Alvin Hilaire back up there. Alvin Hilaire, Central Bank Governor. Come boy. What's going on here? Alvin Hilaire, is this a CL Financial CLICO asset? Why y'all advertising this for sale when it has been allowed to be run down? It have fight going on. I'll bring box up say because you should go in Trin City Mall and have boxing because children fighting all in the Trin City Mall running at about 48%. But you, Alvin Hilaire, you still allowing the liquidator and the PNM to be inside there selling out people assets. What is the law? What is the law, Alvin Hilaire? What were the conditions set for the entry of the central bank into CL Financial CLICO? Have those 3 conditions been met, Alvin Hilaire? Have they been met and how long ago have they been met? And if they have been met, Alvin Hilaire, are you and the central bank in breach of the law? Let me also ask you something, Alvin Hilaire, because as you stay there and you facilitate the PNM and call members agenda, let me ask some of you some questions. CL Financial and CLICO, they nearly paid down everything. The shareholders have been telling the central bank, the government, hey, we solvent, we could pay off that. Why these people insisting on staying there? And the liquidator, Grant Thornton, the liquidators, are y'all an international accounting firm? Are y'all of high repute? Are y'all a big time company? Grant Thornton, why are y'all still in the people thing? What's going on? The liquidator who's living in Grenada, who was married to a former minister in the Grenadian government. I go call your name next week, you and Grant Thornton. Because if y'all are facilitating the corruption and the theft of assets belonging to private citizens by allowing them to be run down and given away at cheap prices to facilitate corruption, well, Grant Thornton, I will have to ask you all, what are your principles? Do you all adhere to the principles of accountability, transparency, good governance, and the professional code of accounting? I will have to ask you all, because this one might go in a bucket. A few more might go in a bucket. Now, Grant Thornton, you all are not from here. This will be a rude awakening for you all. Because even when you all go in jail outside, all you have shiny stainless steel toilet, you don't have bucket. So, let me ask you all something. MHIL, that's a plant Proman and CLICO CL Financial have in Oman. Okay? A methanol plant. CLICO CL Financial, 57%. Proman, 43%. Rowley and Smallpin took a flight, spent $1 million of your money to go and meet with certain executives, including those of ProMan. Now I'm hearing that the members of the CLICO board put there by the PNM, by Colmimbert and the PNM and the cabinet, that they recently went to San Francisco to meet with ProMan to negotiate share price and valuation for MHIL. Is this so? And to the board members of CLICO now, I'll call your names in the next episode, because I'm giving you all an opportunity to not get your own bucket. Don't say the douglAR never did any thoughtful and did not give you all an opportunity. I'm trying to save you all from the bucket, because if you are out there trying to negotiate the fire sale of assets of private citizens and shareholders, the police, boy blue, could be knocking. And if police, boy blue knock, think about this bucket. So to the board members who went to San Francisco earlier this month, last month, because we're in November, in October, did you go to negotiate with ProMan? What did you go to negotiate? How many shares are you looking to sell? What's the position and the legality of the pending sale? Is it legitimate? Is it being facilitated by the central bank, who said that they're going to get out of CL Financial CLICO since 2018? Is that facilitating the fire sale and handing away to friends and finances of the PNM of assets? Is that Rowley meeting there with ProMan? Archie, you're so good. And Rowley goes everywhere with a small pin. Smallpin, I think, was in his birthday party. His wife wasn't. Rowley's wife wasn't, but Smallpin was there. He was there to lend support, to lean his pinhead on his bald head. Right? So I'm asking you all that. What is Section 44D? Is CL Financial CLICO solvent? Have they been solvent? There it is. Where the bank has under Section 44D assumed control of an institution, the bank shall, subject to subsection 2, remain in control of and may continue to carry on the business of the institution until such time as the bank publishes in the Gazette and in such newspapers as it thinks appropriate a notification that it has ceased to be in control of the institution. The bank shall relinquish control and shall not continue to carry on the business of an institution where the circumstances on the basis of which the bank assumed control of the institution under Section 44D have ceased to exist. Boom! So Alvin Hilaire, aka Rowley neighbor in Inesgate, aka Central Bank governor by default, because the PNM fire Jawala and they lost the case, Imbert appealing and we lost that case. Alvin Hilaire, man who espouses PNM fiscal policy, even though you are an independent institution in charge of monetary policy. Alvin Hilaire, have the conditions of which the central bank entered CL Financial CLICO been met? Alvin Hilaire, if they have been met, what the hell you still doing there? Bucket? Swappy, where your bucket boy? I hear you was in boxing, Swappy. Eh? Swappy, you're playing street boy in boxing? All right, Swappy, we go have a conversation. Yes, and coming next week, we shall deal with Ingrid Lashley. Because Ingrid Lashley, you are on every board. You are also this fella's neighbor in Inesgate with Rowley. Ingrid Lashley, I have some questions for you coming involving TTMF, Home Mortgage Bank, PNM Montai, 77 million, NIB, Patrick Ferreira. Patrick Ferreira, what's your relationship with Colm? What's your relationship with Colm? Patrick Ferreira, I come in the next show. So Ingrid, there may be a bucket for you next show. Okay? Lots of buckets. Golden Grove is going to get repopulated. It's best the PNM build house up there. Voter pad in Golden Grove. PM, NSC members not required to go to High Court. Prime Minister, move this one. You know, somebody said this and I couldn't believe it. The country woke up and heard that a judge had called witnesses and summoned people, including 6 ministers, to court to deal with the FUL situation, Gary Griffith case, judicial review with Avery Sinanan and Larry Lala. Somebody say, Anil, they have so much Balisé juice all across this country that even the judiciary is tainted. I, as a man, grow up there, I respect judiciary. And I say, nah, no way. Daily Express, Wednesday, 2nd November 2022, page 3. Prime Minister, meaning Rowley, who under investigation from every police unit in Trinidad and Tobago, NSC members are not required at High Court. So accordingly, the members of the National Security Council are not summoned to appear before the judge on the 9th November or at all as originally reported. It is unfortunate that this error was not corrected by the media and has still not been corrected, the release stated. The Express did not, however, receive any notification of the error until yesterday from the office of the AG. Well, I ask in the court, Chief Justice, whoever in charge of the court, why the error? How the error? How you could give an order to say men have to come to court, and then all of a sudden it's an error and they don't have to come to court? I just want to understand now. Help me understand. I don't understand. Questions that will not be silenced. Let me bring back my bucket. We talking Nelson Gate, you know. Everybody are dirtying up the table and all. All you say, Daniel, the bucket so nasty. So what all you feel go happen when a bucket with 12 man had to poo-poo in it? And if they eat that nasty food, they in the jail. Man might go off 3 times for the day. 12 trees is 36. This thing might overflow. Questions that will not be silenced. Talking about the Nelson Gate, where Rowley take the PTSC bus with the rain falling on the roof and the no brakes and the bad tires. He drive it over Faris and the big chest. He roll it back over Faris tight pants. The Faris tight pants bus by the bottom and by the knees. Rowley drive the bus back over him and say, boy, that had nothing to do with the cabinet. Basically, Faris on his own. But the Express is saying questions that will not be silenced. And you, the population, must follow the Express. And here are some of the questions. The full sum of money to be paid to Vincent Nelson by Rowley's administration with a breakdown of the payments, the accounts from which the payments were made. You see, Rowley says the cabinet not involved. But Rowley might be talking about the rest of them. But Rowley don't understand, and he does lie. He does understand, but he does lie, that the cabinet is really Rowley and Faris. It don't require Colm. It don't require bundles. It don't require Louis Vuitton sacrifice guild. It don't require Donna Cox in Django suit. It don't require none of them. The cabinet is Rowley and Faris. So when Rowley and Faris was by Boudit, the cabinet was by Boudit. When Rowley and Faris was rubbing Boudit leg, the owner of Copacabana, the cabinet was by the owner of Copacabana. You understand? So Rowley come to say it involve the cabinet, because call me but tell them, if all you feel all you involving me, not me and the monarchy, no home for my family, he go sue all you. Call me but I dare you to say I'm a lie. Call me but if I lie, sue me. Did you or did you not tell Rowley and Al-Rawi if they only call your name in that indemnity thing, you're suing all of them? Yes or no? Call me in bear. Second question, the chain of this. Oh, I forget to tell you. If millions of dollars, above 1 million, Gilbert, all of them getting bucket, boy. Gilbert Peterson, yes. Gilbert Peterson, you're quiet. What happened? The oil gone in your mouth, you bunker too much oil, you're swallowing oil. Douglas Mendes, senior counsel, oh, you elitist, you're so bright, and everybody just loves you. Why are you not talking? Where's your advice? Israel can ask you. It's quite simple. How did y'all advise a man that the law, to break the law was legal? I want to understand. Maybe y'all are brighter than the whole world. We might have some Nobel laureates. We might have Nobel Peace winning prize makers. All you might end up in the realm of Mandela and Gandhi, because all you're real good. So let we see all your advice now. Because it have bucket sharing all by all you. So actually leave them there, yes. Them is he wants to ask. You see, the problem Rowley has, A permanent secretary could only approve $1 million. 999,999.99 Anything above that requires a pink sheet, a minute from the cabinet, or prime ministerial authority or cabinet approval by the prime minister. And to my recollection and research, over 6.9 to 10 to 14 million dollars was paid on behalf of Nelson and the indemnity agreement in the fulfillment thereof. Therefore, cabinet approval, prime ministerial approval was required, or else the money couldn't come out of the treasury. And calm, but and calm. You know the system, calm. You know how the system works, how money comes out. So the next question is the chain of decision making within the government that culminated with the signing of the agreement by then Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi and Vincent Nelson. Next question, says the Express. The extent of the involvement of Prime Minister Dr. Keith Browley in this decision and the role and involvement of Stuart Young, Minister in the office of the Prime Minister. Next question by the Express. The public release of the legal opinion. Oh, good! Express. Talking to Gilbert. Talking to Douglas Mendez. No, me, you know what? It's Faris Trolley under the bus, you know. Faris say, I do nonsense because these two gentlemen told me to do it. Now, Faris had to be an idiot. Because if somebody tell you, Faris, go to the top of your building that the government is renting you out from yourself, that you have to recuse yourself 10 times in order to increase your money and your rent and your family value, and go to the top floor and jump out, and it will ensure that your pants don't fit so tight and you wouldn't look like such a mama pool. And you jump, Faris. Who's the fool? The person who advised you to jump, or you who took the advice? I just wonder. The Express asks, the public release of the legal opinion commissioned by the government from Attorney Douglas Mendez, SC, on the indemnity. Well, and Gilbert Peterson, because it's Al-Rawi say so, not me. Don't watch it. Stop watching me, so it's not me, I ain't say so. A full explanation of the government's decision to commit itself to non-disclosure to Parliament regarding its deal with Nelson. Today, says the Express, on the 31st of the 10th, 2022, the damaging specter of political interference hangs too heavily over the Nelson affair for the public's many questions to be silenced. Let me also continue, leave them up there, Archie, because senior counsel and a man who does defend them, who does lime with them, who even tell we when lime or lie, all right, don't worry with that now, man, he's a good boy. Israel Khan, SC, Criminal Bar Association says, quoted in the Newsday, page 14, Tuesday, November 1st, 2022, the Criminal Bar Association, CBA, is disappointed with Attorney General Reginald Armour's refusal to accede to the request of the Law Association, LAT, to provide relevant and pertinent information which would assist in deciding whether former AG Faris Al-Rawi breached the Constitution and thus committed acts amounting to misbehavior in public office when he signed a purported indemnity agreement with Vincent Nelson KC on behalf of the government. Neither the Constitution nor any statutory provisions on our law books permit Al-Rawi to enter the so-called indemnity agreement, which thus gave an undertaking to Nelson and his lawyers that government accepted the agreement and would honor it. So Gilbert Peterson, Douglas Mendez, if Israel Khan SC has stated that neither the Constitution nor any statutory provisions on our law books permitted Al-Rawi to do what he did, how come you all advised him to do so? On what basis, gentlemen? Israel Khan SC continued. There are clear legal authorities emanating from our Court of Appeal which make it abundantly clear and unambiguous that the AG cannot do what Al-Rawi did, and more so at the behest of Nelson's lawyers. Let me repeat that. Because Gilbert Peterson and Douglas Mendes, you all are disagreeing with learned attorneys, Israel Khan, Martin Daly, and every other right-thinking citizen in this country who could read and understand English. So we want to know what sort of argument you presented to Faris Al-Rabwi to make him act illegally. And how much were you paid for this advice? So please share your advice. Why you get so quiet? You play that for Al-Rabwi. You play that for Douglas Mendes, SC. All you feel SC mean above the law. SC mean wait there, police come in. All you stay quiet. All you don't tell me now. Because Israel Khan, he continued. Let me read back what Israel Khan said now. Because these two learned attorneys, obliquely opposite position, you know, of what Israel Khan, Martin Daly, and every other lawyer in the country say. There are clear legal authorities emanating from our Court of Appeal which make it abundantly clear and unambiguous, all you're hearing the kind of language, that the Attorney General cannot do what Al-Rawi did. And Al-Rawi did it because these two gentlemen advised him, and Al-Rawi is a dunce who listened to these two dunces. Now, did Al-Rawi also pay these two fellows for that toilet paper? Very serious matters. Okay. The CBA wonders whether Al-Rawi was misled, tricked, or outmaneuvered by Nelson and his lawyers. But I don't understand that, senior counsel. Al-Rawi said he was advised by these two. So if Al-Rawi was misled, tricked, or outmaneuvered, it's not by Nelson lawyers. It's by these two. The bunkerer, yes, and this one here. Because Al-Rawi says so, not the douglAR says so. So Nelson's lawyers, so extraordinarily anxious was the AG to tighten allegations of corruption and bribery against former AG Anand Ramlogan and former Senator Gerald Ramdeen, that Al-Rawi allowed himself to be shanghaied by Nelson's lawyers. Well, Nelson's lawyers, but the Shanghaiing, according to Al-Rawi, came from Gilbert Bunkering, Inesgate, Rowley Friend Peterson, and Douglas Mendes, this one down here. And they staying quiet. You feel it will go away, fellows? You really do? Okay. The CBA believes in the fullness of time, our AG as the chief legal advisor, meaning Laimor now, the current Attorney General, the Honorable Laimor, as the chief legal advisor to the Prime Minister and Cabinet, will have to and must proffer legal advice to government on whether former AG Al-Rawi committed the criminal offense of misbehavior in public office, and in so doing misled the cabinet, or he did nothing wrong because he obtained legal advice from two of the most senior and experienced lawyers in this country, and hence it absolved him from any wrongdoing, and thus can continue to be a member of the Prime Minister's cabinet. That's the argument being proffered by Al-Rawi, which is a ridiculous one. Because when you swear the oath to have the job, to do the job, as the Attorney General, the buck stops with you. Also, NJAC has weighed in on this issue through Kwesi Mutima, the leader of the NJAC. He said, Nelson deal is a national shame. The main issue in the fiasco involving government and the judicial system is a very obscene manner of operations and the extremes to which individuals in senior office are prepared to go in order to satisfy their own selfish desires without consideration for public funds and public interests. Former Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi proceeded to make a deal with co-accused Vincent Nelson, KC. Al-Rawi, on behalf of government, signed an agreement with Nelson, promising him indemnity if he provided evidence. The bottom line is that the state's case collapsed because the former Attorney General Al-Rawi overstepped his boundaries by inserting himself into the domain of the DPP. The agreement also begs the serious question of an alarming conflict of interest. Mr. Al-Rawi must bear full responsibility for this debacle, notwithstanding his claim of having received advice from eminent senior counsel in Gilbert Peterson and Douglas Mendez. There is likely culpability of other government ministers. Kwesi Mutema, leader of the NJAC. As we talking police now, police have some work to do because the crime is spiraling out of control in Trinidad and Tobago, especially since August 11th, August 12th, 2021, when Keith Christopher Rowley moved these fellows. Keith Christopher Rowley went to the president's house and convinced the president to allow Bliss C. Prasad to misbehave in public office and withdraw a merit list that was duly formulated and legal. You could leave up that picture there. And while crime is spiraling out of control, we crossed 500 murders with 2 clear months to go, looking to be the most deadly month in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Home invasions, battery, malicious assault, grievous bodily harm, rape, murder, beating, thieving, bad driving, collapsing, crashing, hit and run. Any crime that can be done is being done with impunity in Trinidad and Tobago. Rowley goes to Tobago to hide, to celebrate his birthday. Me ain't see no Facebook post from his darling wife for the love of my life. I didn't see it, boss. I want to see it now because I saw you put out that on your Facebook. Then he comes to sit down here with this bag of fools to tell us this is a crime fight. Look at this crime fight. You all feel safe? Huh? This is it here. Crime pandemic, says even The Guardian. And look at the irony. Look at Trinidad and Tobago. Above the headline, beautiful costume from Tobago Carnival. That's our people, our culture, our ability to enjoy ourselves, ease distress and so on. But within that beauty and that costume below, crime pandemic, citizens recount terror at the hands of bandit. Wife of ex-CJ says public crying out daily. Says TNT needs leaders who truly care. Homicide cops are overwhelmed. Investigators voice concerns as murder toll hits 505. Now watch this. Now please, I don't know if Vishnu was able to edit out somebody cussing. Archie, there's a video there where fellas, they were cussing them fellas who took the video. But shots ringing out in Trinidad and Tobago, broad daylight. I don't know if there is cursing, you all bear with it, but it's very important to hear what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago while Rowley and DCP Jacob, who got his job from a thwarted, meritless and misbehaving public office by the Prime Minister, the President and Bliss C. Prasad, does nothing, shows his total incompetence, and citizens are dying like flies. This is what is going on. Run it.
Who knows Beanie Bush? Yeah. Doctor's gone here.
You mean? You beat it now?
That dog, and dogs hear that noise 20 times louder. That dog calm and normal. Because that dog's so accustomed to gunshot in that area that dog, gunshot louder than fireworks. That dog normal, looking for something to eat. And then in Arima now, Venezuelan Border Patrol, Rowley say, no brother, flooding, 200,000 Venezuelans coming. Give them a pass, 16,000 come for pass. Renew the pass 7 times. Don't know who here, who ain't here, who in gang, who come out the jail, who is bad man, who is good man, who is what, we don't know nothing. But look what happening in Arima. Run it.
Hey, 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 hey! Hey, I break a fucking head, boy! Hey, hey! 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 I break up that! Come the man car to a thing way. Hey, 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 hey!
Yeah, I'll turn down that because there's a lot of cussing, but you have to see it. This is real life out there. Look, he gone and break a bottle, going after man. And now look at what happens right in the full glare. This is in the main road in Arima. This is up by Arima Velodrome and the hospital and thing. Look at this now. He's getting stabbed and stabbed and stabbed and stabbed in full broad, in the full glare of everybody in the middle of the road. He's still down, kicking him in his head, shattering his brain. The woman, the girlfriend trying to save him. Watch what is going on. This is what come in. Don't put no border patrol. Don't do nothing. Don't COVID. The girl and all getting kicked. Man knock out cold. Stab up in the neck. This is Trinidad and Tobago. Now, look at that. Man not moving at all. May I know if he dead, if he survive, if ambulance reach. That tell you good. So not only we have our incompetence from 7 years of the PNM of our children failing in the exams, 800 per year or more, getting 0 in SEA for the last 7 years. That's nearly 6,000 children at 0. Totally functionally illiterate, failing at CAPE, failing at CSEC, no opportunities, cutting gate, cutting sport funding, cutting culture, cutting school feeding, cutting anything, cutting NESC, cutting MIC, cutting UTT funding, cutting COSTAT, this PNM nasty government that you all vote for. Now, Archie, there is one more. And let me tell you all something. We're probably going to try and watch this one twice. Actually, first of all, you're going to watch this video as it runs with the volume. I want you all to really watch Trinidad and Tobago. And before I show this video, I want to say a happy birthday to my daughter, Anaya. Tomorrow is her birthday. She's going to be 8 years old. These children appear to be 5, 6, 7 for the oldest. These children that you're going to see. I also want to say to the teacher, thank you, thank you, thank you for taking care of our children, putting your life at risk and making sure to try and keep them as calm as possible, keep them down on the floor, to make sure that any stray bullets or any shots could not hurt them or kill them. To the teacher who was there, thank you for filming it, because you let us know the torture and the pain that our children have to go through in Laventille, in Rose Hill RC, Roman Catholic Primary School, in the heart of PNM territory. You all may say, Anil, why you bring PNM? Because PNM is there, PNM they vote right through, and PNM in charge, and nothing Paul Richards could say could blame the UNC for what the PNM cannot do. I want you to look at these children. Look at them lying on the floor. Could you imagine how scared these babies were? Look at it carefully. This is Trinidad and Tobago under Keith Christopher Sicko teacher. Archie, run it.
Be quiet, children. Down. Be quiet, children. The other side is answering back. Aisha, down. Down. Oh gosh, down, children. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Shh. Oh my God! Children, down! Shh. Children, just be quiet. Just be quiet.
That right? Children in hotspot areas like that. Now, gunshots normal. Other children, well, it everywhere turning hotspot, but other children listening and answering back to the teacher in dictation or spelling or times table or science or geography, answering questions. My children lying down on a cold, hard ground, not knowing what's going on, but gunshots that could kill them. They don't know where it coming, what it. And the teacher is telling them, and I must say, it's sad, they're so accustomed that they listen. Because if that was the first time, you can't just by quietly telling children of that age to lie down, that they all lie down so disciplined. I am a coach. That discipline is learned. That is a practice skill. They practice that. They have experienced that before. And that is the norm. And you telling me politics not important and in elections there are no consequences? And that PNM area and the school look nice and pretty, is Kamla build that? The teacher saying, the next side answering back, so that's a normal thing. Borderline, shots, crossfire, children going to school, their life in danger, going to school, children just killed in a play park, in Enterprise playing, children shot on a basketball court, Children could dead in school where they're supposed to be learning a little work. Them children then have to compete at 10, 11, 12 with other children to move on up in society. They have a chance. But let them great is the flipping PNM. Really? Greatness! To the teacher, thank you. But the PNM wouldn't give you a raise in salary. They disrespect you. They don't consult with tutor to talk about education, about anything. Rowley come with a photo up after Lyman and Tobago and drinking. Who does celebrate their 73rd birthday? Especially when you need horny goat to eat so much. Who does celebrate that? 73? Just go and relax. Party. He partying in Tobago. Get COVID 3 times and COVID once. And then come to say, oh, I'll summon a council, a meeting of the same idiots that have been there for 7 years. I've summoned my council of idiots. So you all should feel, look at my council of idiots. I summoned them, yes. I told them from since last week, we're meeting next week. All you serious in this country, all you really vote for this kind of stupidity. The Labastide, public crying out daily, no fear for the law. President of one of Trinidad and Tobago's leading NGOs, Simone de Labastide, has said that the country is now in a crime pandemic. De Labastide, the wife of former Chief Justice Michael de Labastide, said the public is crying out daily, pleading for basic protection from the relevant authorities for their families, their children, their properties, etc. And yet, little is done that makes a difference to quell the fear and the crime. We are in a crime pandemic and have been for many years, she said. 5 wounded as gunmen opened fire outside a shop in New Grant. Watch what's going on in Trin City Mall. Don't worry, we have all sorts of different generations of crime coming. Watch Trin City Mall. Sell it cheaper, man. The central bank governor, you leave it, let him and them do what they want. Watch.
Hey! 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 What the fuck? Hey! Hey! Hey!
Yeah, we can!
And if you all didn't notice in that video, a young mother stand up there with her baby, look like about 6 months old, in her hand, watching fight. Not understanding that the socialization, one, it's dangerous. Anything chair could have pelt and hit the baby. Next thing we have a dead baby. But think about what our children are learning and seeing. And these arrogant PNM come out in the parliament and talk with such arrogance as the country goes into the darkest times. Migrant murdered, PH driver shot during morning rush hour, shooting victim names gunman, then dies. Venezuelan man shot dead in Cuba, woman wounded. Wounded New Grant girl 13 still hospitalized. Relative of murdered mover man, he was threatened. Gunmen shoot at each other in Belmont. Arima bandits rob pizza delivery man. Venezuelan stabbed during argument. Rose Hill Primary School, RC Roman Catholic School. Well, the Archbishop got an honorary degree from UTT. I make no comment. And he says, as the country's murder count has crossed 500, Archbishop Dr. Charles Jason Gordon believes the rate of crime and corruption in this country is at a dangerous level. Gordon said the many changes in national security ministers and police commissioners have had little impact on crime. Just yesterday, the children at Rose Hill had to duck under their benches and their tables as gunfire had happened for a minute and a half outside, traumatizing the entire school. The Archbishop, who received his honorary doctorate from the university, said the murder rate has been in the top 7 in the world and the engine to transform TNT into a safer society is not working. The engine, the PNM is not working. You can't say it. You can't say it. What is the engine? A V12? V6, a V8, a 2000 twin turbo, fuel injected. What engine you talking about? This, the flipping P&M. In fact, when it changes, it goes up, not down. We have had 15 murders in 72-hour period. But the Prime Minister reveals $80 million for CCTV camera. Yeah, that go fight crime? No, that go just give douglAR Politics more video. All we go do is see more murder, more mayhem, more rape on TV because the P&M have no clue. But that's what they do. We told you the P&M way to thief is create an emergency, build the pressure, then swoop in with some kind of thing and it have money in it for them to make. Run it and remind them.
But surely, this sabotage thing was just a conspiracy theory. Why would a government do this to its own people, to its own system? Why would they suffer their own people like that? Why would they suffer? Why would they undermine? Why would they undermine the very economy that they were elected to manage? Well, the story continues. At first, the people felt annoyed and inconvenienced. Then, as the days went on, there was agitation at the loss of work, time, business, and money. As days became weeks, anger, resentment, and panic was brewing as the entire operations and businesses started falling apart. We saw mounting stress, despair, pressure, and loss as weeks becoming months and then years. Then, at the almost climatic point of desperation, in comes the self-proclaimed bald-headed hero, accompanied by a small pin sidekick, and with their grandiose announcement that they shall save the day. Like the boss man in the previous movie, they swept in to burst the pipeline and relieve the pressure that they themselves had created, taking the country's resources into their own hands. Flouting and bypassing good governance, transparency, proper procurement, accountability, tendering, evaluation, pushing aside the officials they themselves appointed, joyriding across the planet, negotiating directly with suppliers over scotch and shrimps, acquiring new vessels in the most unscrupulous, unprofessional, corrupt manner, all under the guise of saving the day. Remember, undermine the system, create an emergency, let the pressure peak at the moment of utter desperation. Play hero, distract the people, then drain the resources and plunder the savings. Stay tuned. The story ain't done yet. Plenty sequels to come with this wicked Rowley P&M. The Petrotrin saga ain't done. Point Lisas ain't done. Port now start. Wassa coming. T&Tech, great is the P&M. They're coming for you with the same plan. Create an emergency so they could vacuum the treasury. Break the system. Create the emergency. Let the pressure build. Distract with illusion of solution and vacuum the treasury. That is the Rowley way. That is the P&M way.
So now the solution, $80 million for CCTV camera for friends and financiers. That's what they do. And then you have their friends, financiers and brethren. Doma, Gregory Aboud says, with 500 murders, Doma urges citizens groups to guard against crime. Doma, you ain't want to urge Rowley to do his work. You ain't want to urge Fitzgerald Ethelbert Sleepy Sativa Hines, the Minister of National Security, to do his work. You ain't want to urge Paula May Weeks and Blissy Prasad to not listen to Rowley and impact a merit list, breach section 123.4 and ensure that whoever it is merit the job, get the job. You don't want to urge them to not break the law and misbehave in public office and then leave us without a commissioner of police and then a DCP done so in charge. You want us, the citizens, to fight crime? Not the P&M. You don't want the cabinet and the national security apparatus and the National Security Council and them who have $8 billion per year. You don't want to urge the P&M to do their job. You urging us? Really, Gregory? Come on now, Gregory. Bali said, draw showing, son. And then, of course, after Gregory, must have the Guardian. The Guardian is talking portrait of Trinidad, opinion page, Tuesday, November 1st. And they say, and they're boasting and upholding the same nonsense as Gregory. Not those who in charge, not those elected to provide safety and security, not the cabinet, not the prime minister, not the government. Them have no responsibility. The citizens, we must fight crime. And then they're not giving we no gun because they want to catch Gary. So they're shutting down gun dealer and looking at all their books and charging them and going on a witch hunt. And all the FULs cease and settle. Men who have no criminal record, businessmen, all kind of people who apply for firearm can't get it because Rowley and them playing games, political games to persecute man. And you come to tell we but the citizens must do what? So when man come in with AR-15, we must come out with Puya and Gregory. The only good Gregory was Gregory Isaacs, boy. However, Doma took encouragement and inspiration, says the Guardian, from acting police Commissioner McDonald Jacobs' advice to his officers not to surrender in the face of the crime surge. Doma said a similar sense of determination and leadership must be practiced by each citizen in protecting themselves. Greggy, ain't you living in a bush place? Gregory, ain't you have big high wall? Gregory, do you have electric fence? Gregory, do you have a CCTV camera, like 23 CCTV camera? Do you have roving security, Gregory? Do you have standing security, armed security? Any members of your family have firearms, Gregory? You could defend yourself. You want citizens, 90% of citizens who have no firearm to battle that, Gregory? What nonsense you're talking? Don't make me cuss here now, Gregory. Okay, if you have nothing to say, nothing to add, and you're happy that PNM there, just shut up, Gregory. With all due respect. Children lying down on a flipping ground, bullets going over their head. How they going to protect themselves? Gregory? Tell me now, Gregory. What the teacher supposed to do, Gregory? What is supposed to do? When boys on a bus route and man pull up in a car and jump out and shooting 27 bullets per second. What them boys supposed to do to protect themselves to fight crime, Gregory? Please tell me. You're so bright, you know. Unbelievable. Not the government, not the National Security Council, not the Minister of National Security, not the policy, not the proceeding, not stop the guns from coming in, not protect the border, not create a dome of security dome, not to improve the ability, not to manage the roadways, because guns driving all the way around, Gregory. The citizens must protect, we must protect ourselves. How? I think you better withdraw that statement, Gregs. Okay? It was really asinine. Let's hear from the King Mambo Dambona. Let's hear from the bald-head teacher who needed to use his power to get pum-pum. Let's hear his opinion on crime when he wasn't in charge. Run it.
It is the same thing with the crime issue. You hear it talking about no bail, greater sentences. You're forgetting. Before bail comes into being, you have to have arrested somebody. The biggest problem we have in Trinidad and Tobago today with this crime problem is that the police stands alone, naked and blind. People are now seeing murderers en masse committing murder in front of them, but they dare not become a witness in a case against that murderer. And without that evidence, the murderer walks away with a spring in his step. Tonight I want to call on the government to come meet with the opposition. Let us look at the laws and make it so that tampering or interfering with a witness in Trinidad and Tobago is worse than the crime you committed. Because without a proper system where witnesses can feel protected and where the wrongdoers can feel the full brunt of the law, there will be no change. Because they believe they have the upper hand. Stop fooling yourself. They have the upper hand. I just read for you how a superintendent of police sees the police service. Is that what our service represents? An officer like that? How many of those do you have in there? There are many police officers who will cross the road if they see crime being committed on the other side. When I was housing minister, many police and prison officers came to me. They want to move from where they're living because the crime is too much and they feel more at risk than the people who live inside there. We have to have fundamental responses to what has happened to us. It is not going to go away. And I am recommending that if we want to change any law, we start with the laws dealing with witness tampering. Make it that if you in any way interfere with any witness in any matter in which an allegation.
Yes, where you now, where speech? Hey, you big lying dunce. All that talk and all that murders was 375. Murders hit 510 already with 2 months to go. You're in Tobago, you're saying that you come and give you a picture on Facebook. Why you didn't put Brian Manning in the picture? He like to be in picture too. Where your plan? What you doing? If the government cannot solve and deal with crime, then the government is the problem. Well, you are the problem in more ways than one. The other next one, he was in red, some way. Run the clown.
Our approach to dealing with crime is to acknowledge that the people in the country whose job it is to respond to the criminal element is the police service, and supported by other arms of the national security apparatus. We have to do what has to be done to have a modern police service that can respond to the criminal element in an effective way. And to do that, you require to have good quality personnel, properly trained, properly resourced, and not for any season but on a sustained basis. One of the big problems with our police service today is that the national community does not think that the police is up to the job, and citizens across the country don't trust the police. We have to rebuild that trust because the police needs the assistance of the national community in dealing with crime. And the government cannot play politics with crime, trying to convince us that crime has gone down when you know you don't feel that way. The yardstick that we will use to measure our success in crime fighting is how you feel about your security. And of course, we have to find ways and means of having justice on time.
That was the leader of the opposition, the email gate nastiness, Keith Christopher Rowley. Well, let's say the people have less confidence in the police now since you interfered and misbehaved in public office with Paula May Weeks and Bliss Seepersat to thwart the meritless. The police are now under-resourced as worse than in any time ever. The crime rate has spiraled totally out of control, the worst in history, worse than 2008 when you were just fired from the cabinet by Manning. 2008, Martin Joseph, the paper say 550, but it's 558. Second, Small Pin Young, 538, 2017, 2018, and this year, heading towards 600. The people have no confidence in the police, in DCP Jacobs and your hand-selected commissioner. Your government is interfering with the police and the judiciary. The people have no confidence in you, your cabinet, the government. Even your friends Doma cannot tell you to do anything because they know you cannot do it. They're telling we protect ourselves because we on our own. So at conversations with the jackass back in our leader of opposition days, that was probably 2015. That's all of that gun talk. 7 years on, you have exacerbated a dire situation. Our children are being shot and killed. Home invasions, rape, robbery, murder. All, no one is safe except you. So Keith Christopher Rowley, you and your band also trying to blame Kamala. And now the opposition needs to come and help you. Oh, really? And Paul Richards? But look, just to show you a little clip. Kamala went, Kamala showed you, Kamala told you in this meeting, in the election, in the manifesto, all Kamala's plans that she has and wants to implement, plus updated up to last week and illustrated on Monday night in the virtual. Kamala has come and given you solutions. You either cannot read, you don't care, or you like it so, and you must get out of office, call an election, and let people who want to solve the problem solve it. Because crime is the #1 responsibility of a government. You and all said that in conversations with a jackass. And Paul Richards, pay attention. Right? Okay, Paul Richards, you independent senator. Look at this video here, Paul Richards. Look.
Shortly before 11, the opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar, accompanied by MPs Rudal Munilal and Ramona Ramdial, as well as Senators Gerald Ramdeen and Wade Mark, emerged from their vehicles and entered the Prime Minister's office via the Grey Street entrance. In a brief interview with reporters before the meeting, the opposition leader said they would approach the meeting with good faith. What do you expect? How do you expect the meeting to go this morning?
We go in good faith. We do have some proposals to share with the government, and we expect a cordial meeting. We'll talk to you later on in the day, but we go in good faith. I think it was because at the time we were able to work a consensus position with respect to certain pieces of legislation which were enacted into law. Maybe not everything was followed through, but certainly some of the recommendations were implemented, and we did have some success.
Just over an hour later, the opposition left the meeting room, and the Prime Minister and his team, which included Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi, Minister of National Security Edmund Dillon, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister Stuart Young, and Port of Spain South MP Marlene MacDonald. The Prime Minister said the government and opposition agreed to rework a parliamentary joint select committee to improve their approach to the issue of crime.
We have agreed that the parliamentary committee which currently exists, where the government, the opposition and independents meet in treating with legislation, can be used and must be used to prepare the ground for common purpose before we get to the parliament floor.
The parties agreed that the committee would now be chaired by an independent senator and would discuss adjustments to crucial pieces of legislation. Attorney General...
Yeah, we just want to show you that. So Paul Richards, when you come in with your stupidness, why don't you all put the pressure on whose job it is? And if you agree that the PNM has failed independent Senator Paul Richards, then you must say that. Run it, Archie. Oh yeah, but you know that? All right. But we good, we good. You have an image there. I want to end the show. I went on a little long today. Right? Look at this. Lord, if I'm ever ungrateful, forgive me. Look at that picture of this poor child. And yet under the PNM, under Marvin Gonzalez, who spent more time letting Ecliffe Eli measure his inseam than dealing with people water. In Trinidad and Tobago, for the last 7 years, 4 billion gallons of pure, pristine, potable water is wasted per month because of the dilapidated and further damaged infrastructure that has not been improved. There's no plan to change it. Money has been squandered. The PNM has tried to lie on DeSalcott and has been proven to be liars. They shut down the energy sector and they create a monster. The only reason we get water now is from DeSalcott, clean potable water. When DeSalcott goes down for maintenance, you get brown tutu water coming through your taps if you get it. And look at other places, look at other countries. Look at what this little boy has to do. Yet we have the PNM who sits down with arrogance, wastes all of our resources and tells us cook in coal pot and ride bike. Elections have consequences. Get the PNM out. Force them express, force them civil society groups, force them people to get out. They're totally incompetent. Let them get out before our children have to do this. Good night. God bless.
It's plenty pressure. We have to suffer. You will do nothing better. Probably really have to go. Oh, probably really have to go. Oh, probably really have to go. Since you coming forward, you is a big failure. Collapse the economy and it do nothing for we. What you have to show, we don't really know. What you have to show, we don't really know. Sorry Trinidad and Tobago, but Rowley really have to go. Oh, so Rowley really have to go. Oh, so Rowley really have to go. The crime rate is out of hand, they're shooting up we blessed land. We need more protection, it's time to take some action. We living in fear, it's too much to bear. We living in fear, it's too much to bear. And the PNM don't really care, Rowley really have to go. Oh, so Rowley really have to go. Oh, so Rowley really have to go. This country in crisis with your broken promises. Too much people jobless, we living in real distress. No school for children, why you suffering them? No school for children, why you suffering them? And we have to vote out PNM. Rowley really have to go.